You are the type of person to repeatedly confess to your crush no matter how many times they say no. You are a firm believer in the inherent eroticism of rivals that secretly like each other to lovers. Your ideal relationship dynamic is bros before hoes. You are a firm believer in the inherent eroticism of rivals that don't like each other to lovers. You don't care how many internet arguments you get into, you'll die on the hill that Archie Sonic is what the Sonic series should be like. You are a firm believer in the inherent eroticism of best friends to lovers. Also, I should point out that Sonic is 15 and Tails is 8, so...
FBI, open up!
You loved putting those copy and paste if things on your DeviantArt or fanfiction.net profile in 2009. You are a firm believer in the inherent eroticism of loving yourself. Your ideal relationship dynamic is Beauty and the Beast, however you're that weirdo that thinks the Beast is hotter as a human. You are a Sonic and Amy fan that likes Sonic and Shadow, or you are a Sonic and Amy fan that hates Sonic and Shadow. Your ideal relationship dynamic is wacky hijinks, after which hilarity ensues. You think people need to give it a break, it's been 14 years, Sonic 06 is not as bad as people said it was. You are a firm believer in the inherent eroticism of worst enemies to lovers. Also, I think this goes without saying, but...
FBI, open up!
You just want good things for Cream. And really, who wouldn't? You cried at the end of Sonic X Season 3. You saw that Cream and Cosmo didn't exist in Sonic Boom, so you had to go with the first best thing. You firmly believe the geeky sidekick should always be allowed to find love. Also, remember when I said that Sonic is 15 and Tails is 8? Yeah, well, Wave is actually 10 years older than him, so...
FBI, open up!
Your ideal relationship dynamic is friendly teasing with many innuendos. Your ideal relationship dynamic is jock and goth. You saw that Knuckles and Styx were the only members of Team Sonic who didn't have someone they were ship teased with, so you went with the first best thing. Also, you are heterosexual. You are former Archie Sonic writer Kent Penders. You want Knuckles paired with an echidna, but preferably one that doesn't have familiar ties to him or is far too obvious. You desperately cling on to the hope that Sonic Underground will come back one day. Your ideal relationship dynamic is that someone will die a fun picture. Looking back on your childhood, you can pinpoint the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise as the catalyst for your crippling addiction to edgy boys. You are a firm believer in the inherent eroticism of work partners to lovers. Your ideal relationship dynamic is bonding over traumatic events. Also, I think this ship is like low-key messed up, so just in case...
FBI, open up!
At its core, you believe every edgy boy deserves his ray of sunshine. You are either a huge robot fucker, or you claim not to be one despite finding at least one of the Transformers hot. This is just the same joke as Shadow and Maria, except not creepy. You either were, or wish you were, a scene kid in the mid-2000s. Your ideal relationship dynamic are those 4 PM memes, except the guy is actually excited instead of submissive. You will forever find the Amy confusing another Hedgehog for Sonic gag hilarious. Your ideal relationship dynamic is geek and goth. Your ideal relationship dynamic is prep and goth. You weren't sure about IDW at first, but when you saw Tangle's infatuation with Blaze, you ran with it. This is just the same joke as Sonic and Elise, but for lesbians. This is just the same joke as Sonic and Jet, but for lesbians. Watching through Sonic Boom, you really liked episodes and scenes with Amy and Styx more than the rest of the show. You can be described one of 3 ways. You either started shipping it since Sonic X despite knowing it was one-sided, you saw those panels from IDW issue number 32 and ran with it and never thought about it before, or, more confusingly, you're not sure if you're someone who wants to fuck moms, but you definitely want to fuck mother figures. You just want Charming to have parents. And really, who wouldn't? I don't even think you even like this series. I'm pretty sure you just have a Twitter where you retweet bar furry porn. You didn't own a PSP, so you watched Sonic Rivals 2's cutscenes on YouTube, but after watching it, you grew an appreciation for this ship because 1. Silver was your precious cinnamon roll, and 2. you just really hate that Vector and SBO is arguably the most popular SBO ship. Your ideal relationship dynamic is that Avril Lavigne lyric that goes, "He was a boy, she was a girl, can I make it more obvious?" You're always a slut for crossover ships where the two parties have similar features. You just want good things for both Charmy and Cream. And really, who wouldn't? You want Vector paired with someone closer to his age, but you don't really know a lot about the series outside of very certain games. You firmly believe same-species relationships in the series doesn't always have to involve hedgehogs. You really like himbos. You are a firm believer in the inherent eroticism of bickering married couples. Your ideal relationship dynamic is jock and geek. Your ideal relationship dynamic is nearly identical traits. You are a firm believer in the inherent eroticism of characters not getting enough screen time. You unironically like the Deadly Six but conveniently forget everyone that isn't named Zavik and Zaz. You are a firm believer in the inherent eroticism involving the villain's goons having far too much sexual tension. This is just the same joke as Orbot and Cubot but for gay furries. You can be described in one of three ways. You either got into Archie after the Super Genesis wave, you love to spite heterosexual Sonic fans, or, more accurately, you are a lesbian. Or identify as LGBT in some way. This is just the same joke as Silver and Blaze, but you feel 4 PM dick smashing time needs more French stereotypes. You like the idea of Rotor being gay, but you also curse the ground Ken Pender stands on. You were definitely a hardcore Sally and Nicole shipper before Archie Sonic went under. You're always a slut for crazy characters who bring absolute chaos to everything they touch. Looking back on your childhood, you can pinpoint the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise as the catalyst for your crippling addiction to trashy couples. You browse the angst section on AO3 way too much. You are someone who still says the words seme and UK in 2020. You are a firm believer in the inherent eroticism of friends to enemies to lovers. This is just the same joke as Sonic and Scourge and Shadow and Omega. That's it. End of sentence. They're both interchangeable. You've had a crush on at least one Tumblr sexy man, and your only exposure to the Sonic franchise is the 2020 movie.